Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers. If you are new here, please kindly subscribe to and make this page your own. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful keyhole yoke blouse with a puffy sleeve. If this is something you would like to learn, please kindly stay tuned and keep watching, and let's get right into the video. So what we need for this particular project is our basic bodice pattern with our shoulder slope 1 inch, then neck line and neck depth of 3 by 3, our bust divided by 4, our waist divided by 4. For the back, I did 0.5 as my armhole in depth, and for the front I'm using 0.75. so I have to draft my pattern off the camera because I don't want this video to be long. So what's from our armhole, the next thing we're going to do from our armhole, will come down by 1.5 inch, and around the chest line, so we'll go up by 1.5 inches. I'm so sorry that my camera wasn't focusing, so I came down by 1.5 inch from my armhole, and from the chest line in the folded part I went up by 1.5 inches. Now connect my I'll connect it this way using a fresh curve to connect. Now the next step is for us to come down by 1 inch from our front neckline and going by 1 inch. So I'm doing a neckline, I'm altering my neckline into 4 by 4. I'm so sorry my camera wasn't focusing here, but I'll try as much as possible to explain. So I did like a knee depth of 4 inches by 4 inches neckline. So I'm just trying to check that I have everything in place for my back neckline. So from that point I came down by 1.5 inch. I measured what I have from the starting point to the 1.5 inches. Now I drew a straight line that will serve as my back bodice. I don't know if you understand. So from that 1.5 inches I started marking. I measured what I have from the start point to the 1.5 inches, so I'll get like a straight line. Now I'm going to just do my back neckline of 1 inches. So I'm just trying to, I don't want to waste my paper, but I'm super sorry, but once I cut this particular pattern you get to understand why I am doing this. So I'm going to cut out the back piece first, which is the 1 inches I came down by, cutting out my neckline. Then I'll cut out the straighter parts. Please carefully, I'm just trying to carefully cut it. I didn't know that I was backing the camera. I'll try as much as possible in my next video to take note of all this error. So I'm just going to cut out the armhole. So I'm going to cut out, I need to cut it perfectly. So I'm cutting out the first armhole, which is like the 0.5 I came in by. So my next video might be how to create a perfect bodice. Now the next step is for us to get our fabric. The yardage of fabric you need for this particular project is just 2 yards. You don't need anything much, just 2 yards of fabric. It could be from your leftover fabrics or a new fabric, just cut out 2 yards. So I'm trying to spread my fabric to the wrong side so I can place my pattern paper on it. Remember, we're cutting the back piece first, so I'm trying to adjust so that I don't overly waste my fabric. I'm taking note of the sides, I'm taking note of the zipper side too. So I'm going to pin my pattern to the fabric carefully, trying to check up to see that my camera was focused on the pattern and the fabric. So we're going to carefully pin our pattern to the fabric. So now the next step is for us to mark out our lines, like the side bodies. I'm just trying to strategic point so I don't have anything funny going on there. I just need like a perfect straight line. So by the side, I'm adding just 1 inches as my seam allowance. To the down part, I'm adding just 0.5 inches as my down seam allowance too. And for the zipper side, I'm going to be doing 1 inch allowance. Sorry, I love marking my 1 inch allowance from the middle of my tape, not from the start point. I don't know why. So I'm just going to mark it out. Please always use your ruler to create straight lines. And then around the neckline area, I'll be adding 0.5 inch as my seam allowance too. I'll do same to the curved part of my ankle, 0.5 all around, and that will be that. 0.5 inches all around. The next step is for us to cut out our fabric. So we'll be cutting out the fabric on the seam allowances we've created. I keep going. Remember, we just need two pieces of this, and I'll also be cutting a lining, but I'll do that off camera. So I'm going to slit this part open. I'm going to cut out my zipper allowance too. So now set this aside so that I can introduce my front pattern. So I'll be cutting off my pattern this way, cutting off from that 1.5 inches I went up by up until the 1.5 inches I came out by. So now I'm just going to be dipping my front armhole. Remember I said for the front armhole I use 0.75 and for the back I use 0.5. I'm making a video on this probably very much later on this channel, how to draft a perfect bodice. So now I'll be pinning my front pattern to the fabric. So I can just add my seam allowances at once. And after I'm done cutting this, I'll also use the same pattern to cut my fabric. Remember I said I'm just ruling out the strategic points on my pattern so I have like a straighter line. So now I'll be adding my seam allowances at 0.5 around the armhole, then around the shoulder line I'm adding 0.5 too. My neckline is 0.5. Remember I did 4x4 as my neckline width and depth. So 0.5 as the seam allowances. Then around the yoke part, keyhole part, I'm at 0.5 also. Then around my seam side, my side seam, I'll be using 1 inches, just like I did for the fronts. And then I'll cut out my fabric. So I'm just carefully cutting it out. I take my time to work because I don't want any funny look at the end of the day. So I'm carefully cutting out my pattern. Ignore my face, I was trying to make sure that the camera was focused on this part. So for the sleeves, I need 1 yard of fabric for the puffy sleeve. So I just got like a yard of fabric, folded it by that fabrics come in 4 to 5 inches Accra fabric, so I folded it into 2 to get 22.5. Then I folded it in 1 to have like 18 inches. So I have 18 inches as the length this way. Then making sure I have like a straighter line around the down part. So I have 18 inches as the length, and the width would be 22.5. So I'm just trying to create like a normal curve for my sleeves. Then I'm going to cut through that line. So that's I'm going to gathering it on the smaller part of the sleeve. So for the smaller parts, I'm just going to create like my basic sleeve. I'm using length 11 for this. This is going to be smaller and shorter than the big one. So this is going to serve as a base for the big sleeves for me to gather my puff. So I did length 11 inches, then by 10 inches. That's like my armhole measurements. So I'm just trying to pin my fabric. So I'm going to create like the armhole that would fit into my bodice perfectly. So I came down by 3.5, then I'm connecting it back to. So I'm trying to see that it's going to go over my so I'm just going to cut this out. Then around I'll input my round sleeve circumference around that point. Then plus 1 inch as seam allowance, connect it this way. Then I'll cut it out. So off camera, I'm going to be ironing my Paperstay to the main body, so just to the Ankara, not on my lining. I've done that here, and I'm trying to attach my Ankara to the lining. So I'm just sewing the neckline area first. After sewing the neckline area, I'm going to notch. I'm just going to cut out the thread. I'm currently notching the neckline area. Like I said, you would notch, then I'll be top stitching all of my seam to the lining area. So I pushed the whole seam allowances to the lining area so that I can top stitch. This way I'm going to have a neat and perfect neckline area. My lining won't be popping out or shooting out to the front bodice. Afterwards, I'm going to pin the neckline area carefully. Just going to pin it to make it relaxed. If you have light at your place, please just make use of your press iron or your iron. Just press it out. But there's not always light my side, so I'm sorry about that. So the next step is for us to flip Ankara right side facing right side again, so I can sew around the keyhole area. So I'm sewing the keyhole area. That's the down part of the front bodice. By this ½ inch I left as seam allowance. I'll carefully sew it, and I'll keep adjusting my fabric as I go, so I don't have any fabric longer than the other. So after sewing by my ½ inch seam allowance, I'm going to notch that part. This is just to create a perfect relaxation around your curvy edges or pattern. So I'm going to turn it to the front again, and I'm also going to pin the down part of the keyhole. Always work with your pins, guys. For the back borders, we'll be starting with the back neckline. So we're going to sew by ½ inch we left, ½ inch seam allowance we left, and then you would notch the neckline. Also, you do the same by also top stitching your seam allowances to the fabric, to the lining area. The next step is for us to close up our zipper area by ½ inch. Remember, we left 1 inch for our zipper area. The remaining ½ inch will be for the zipper, or will serve as a zipper allowance. So you're going to notch that point too, and you will turn it over to the right side this way. So I just sealed up the down parts. Repeat same step on the other back piece. Sew the neckline area by 1/2 inch, then the zipper side, and then turn to the right side. So that is what we have right now, and that's that. So we have 2 back pieces, or 2 back pieces. Now we'll be joining our shoulder area. So first I'm going to do is mash up the back shoulder line with the front. So the Ankara is going to be on one side, and then the lining and the line is going to be on one side. So I'm going to just sew down my shoulder line by the same 1/2 inch I left earlier as the seam allowance. So this is what we have. I'm also going to pin that point. So I'm repeating same thing on the other side. Open up my shoulder. So I'm going to repeat same thing, open up my shoulder. I'm going to mash it up by the seam, and then push the Ankara to the other side too. And I'll be sewing down this way. This will help conceal my seam allowances. So I'm trying to create a perfect inseam finish around that point. Sewing down by 1/2 inch. Cut out our excess thread. So this is what we have. I'm also going to pin that point too. Now to the side seam. Remember our side seam allowance was 1 inch. So I'm also going to open up my side seam this way. So pick the down part, move it. Then I'm going to mark out my seam allowance of 1 inch. Then I'm going to sew it down. So it was 1 inch we left as our side seam allowance. So I'm going to mark it out. And I'm going to sew that down. So you're trying to conceal the side seam too, so it doesn't show on the outer side. So this is what repeat same thing to the other side seam, and voila, this is what we have. Now to the sleeves, we get the smaller point of the sleeve. I'm going to notch it, fold it, and get the midpoint of both sleeve. So you notch the bigger sleeve, also get the midpoint of the bigger sleeves too. And next step is for us to get our base, which is the smaller sleeve. Mash up the notched part and then the side also. So we'll be gathering the bigger side, the bigger sleeve on the smaller sleeve. Practically we are pleating, so I'm trying to even out my pleats, which is why I said from the window. So we're going to pleat all the way. So we are pleating the down parts now. So like our round sleeve circumference point, that is what we are pleating. After you're done pleating, this is what we have. Next step is for us to also get the sides of the sleeve. So mash up the start point, and then we're going to pleat the bigger side to fit in, or to fit into the smaller sleeves. So I'm just pleating this way till to the very end of the sleeve. So we're going to repeat the same thing to the other side of the side seam too. Pick the points, the edges this way, match them up, and then we would pleat. So I just did 3 big pleats. So just going to pleat. Apparently till you're out of fabric for the bigger sleeve. So you get a pleat and then you cut out your excess thread too. Then we'll turn over to the right side, and the last step is for us to pleat the circumference, the bigger side. We match it up this way too. So apparently you're matching up the notched points also, and then we're going to also pleat the bigger sleeve or the smaller sleeves. Remember I said I need to even out my pleats. So what I do is I sew a straight stitch from the start point about 1 to 2 inches, so that way I don't have pleats around the side seams. I don't know if you understand, but carefully watch what I did. So I did not start my pleats from the beginning of my sleeves. It was towards 2 to 3 inches I started pleating. So I'll keep pleating till the very end of the sleeve, or till I get to the other side of the sleeve. So now that I'm done with my pleats, this is what it looks like. This is what the back looks like. And now we're sewing or covering our side seam. So remember our side seam, I left 1.5 as my side seam, so I'm going to be taking 1 inch as the original side seam now. So I had already used 1/2 inch as to seal up the inner side, and the remaining 1 inch is what I just used as my side seam now. So this is what we have. We need to make a full detailed tutorial on how to make this kind of sleeve. The next step now is for us to attach our sleeves to like our bodice. So I've attached the first one off camera. I'm going to be doing the same thing I did for the first one. So I'm going to match up my side seam points to the side seam points of my bodice, and then I'm also going to pick the notch points, the midpoint of my sleeve. I'm going to match it around my shoulder seam too, and then we're going to sew. So just watch what I'm doing. So I'd match them up, and then you just sew. So now I'm done sewing my sleeve, or attach my sleeve to the bodice. And next step is for us to fix our zipper. I believe everybody can fix their zipper. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Been rocking my detachable yoke beautiful top. Please, if you like what you've seen or watched so far, kindly subscribe to my channel, like, share. Please leave a comment also. If you would like to see more beautiful tutorials, DIYs, ready to wear ideas, keep glued and stay tuned to this particular channel. Bye guys.